the Bengals. And it's coming up next.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? No run back here on the opening kickoff as we'll start at the 25. First down. Here's Burrow. Open man is Uzomah. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. This defense for the Browns, they were excellent a week ago in the win over Pittsburgh.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
And CD, defensively, you're going against a hot quarterback coming off a 3-touchdown game in their victory a week ago. But what's the big key for them to try to slow him down?
You ask all the tough questions, don't you, partner? Because with this guy, if you blitz him, he takes advantage of that man coverage and burns you. But if you bring on those extra DBs, he sits back there and does what he wants. To me, it's going to be those DBs. When they catch the ball, big-time tackles really put it on those receivers.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Hunter Nicewander on to punt now on 4th down. The speedster Dante Pettis back deep to return. And this one sails out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25. It will. 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Chubb with a 1st down carry as he'll get about 3 out of it. Make it 2nd and 7 coming up. Pretty much unreal, not just in terms of yardage, Charles, but also throw in the 3 touchdowns as well.
When you put the whole package together, I can make you a pretty good guarantee right now. He's going to see a few more people in the box every time he lines up.
Yeah, I don't think that the defense has any choice. They've got to stop him. Can't let a repeat performance like that.
Agreed.
So this rivalry, Charles, here in the Buckeye State, Cincinnati and Cleveland, you felt like for a while it took a dip as these 2 franchises struggled. But now I think this rivalry is budding again as one of the best under-the-radar rivalries in the NFL.
I agree with you absolutely, because both of these teams have the arrow pointing up. They've kind of solved their quarterback issues. They're building up their rosters. But one of the most defining moments of this rivalry to me wasn't even in a Browns-Bengals game. It was a Seahawks-Bengals game, when head coach Sam White addressed the crowd and emphasized that Cincinnati was the place to be.
Well, Charles, I think his exact words were, you don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that, right?
He said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
Now Burrow down around his goal line. Oh, and this is going to wind up a safety. Well, we thought these 2 defenses, they might come to play. One has already come to play here. A safety for the opening points of the game.
Brandon, let's file this play away, because if it turns out to be a tight game, who knows? This could wind up being the difference.
Here's Switzer.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. 5-3 their record at the halfway point, and you have to imagine that there are folks saying, hey, if we do that again in the second half, we're 10-6 and we're a playoff team.
I do think, though, that they have a couple things working against them, and number one, the schedule, that's going to toughen up a bit because they've got some division games down the stretch, and those are always difficult. Number two, you know they've got to stay healthy. That's the key to getting to the playoffs and winning in the playoffs. But they've got a shot at it. This is a good football team.
From the 27, Mayfield. That's caught by the tight end, Harrison Bryant. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
Let's go.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Mayfield forced out to his left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep left side. That's caught inside the 20. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A big connection on that one. 38 yards. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. It's Logan Wilson there to bring him down. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Nick Chubb with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Browns add on to their lead. Great call to hand that one off, and his running back did the rest.
Someone read their keys correctly, and on the defensive side of the ball, they certainly did not, because they really essentially were just going to swarm the quarterback. They kind of guessed themselves out of the play, and guess who benefited? The guy with the football.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Phillips, he's not going to bring this one out, so they will begin the drive at the 25. Cincinnati's offense coming back here onto the field. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get, and it's just so strange to see that go up on the board, and then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points. And they'll use him out of the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago, there's another one right there.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now it's Burrow. Throw left side, complete to Chase. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. What a dimension this man brings to this defense. He had his mind set there that he was going to get in and make that tackle. He really flew to the football. On 1st and 10, Joe Burrow. Quick slant caught by Chase. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. The former 2nd-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. The numbers for Mixon last week. Very productive. 3 touchdowns, 2 of them on the ground, 1 through the air.
And it will always be a compliment to say that a guy's got a nose for the end zone, and he sure had it last week.
They go play action with Burrow. Throw for Boyd, but it's intercepted. Picked by the rookie Greg Newsome. And the Browns are going to take over at their own 13-yard line. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
The offense trots back out there. Let's turn our focus now to Nick Chubb. Last week, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. We were talking with him on the field before the game. He said simply, I was in a groove. He obviously was.
And I think he's been a little modest about that, being in a groove. That's a big-time game right there. And I think he feels like his entire team is coming along with him because they're creating spaces and holes for him to run through. He's making people miss, running through tackles. They are locked in a big way and confident about this game as well.
Play fake. Mayfield. His throw incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
And he's going to have a Browns first down as he'll take this forward to the 27.
He was tackled at the 27-yard line. A gain of 7. And the Browns first down. Here we go.
The start of the second quarter, and it's the Browns in control of the football. After one, it's 9-0. Mayfield on first down. He's going to wind up and air it out. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. To throw, Mayfield. They'll go screen here to Hunt. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
And that doesn't have to gain big yardage to be an impactful play, because if you can get those pass rushers second-guessing themselves that they might get hit with a screen, maybe you can wind up slowing them down just a step. And if you do that, that's a win for that play.
And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. 53 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. On first down, Chubb going to get forward for only about a couple. 2nd and 8 forthcoming.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Handoff comes to Chubb. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Chubb on the counter, and nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call them run fits, everyone was in the right place.
And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Well, I was watching him in warm-ups, and he hit a 62-yarder that hit the crossbar and went over. This one a little bit inside of that, but not enough leg.
And the difference is what?
Well, your live conditions, right?
Live conditions, game conditions are a whole lot different than practice, where you just pop it up there, no rush, no pressure. I think maybe that takes a couple yards away from you when you have to do it when it's real.
No gain on the screen there. It's second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly.
11.
On second down, here's Mixon. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line.
Let's go.
Now, after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside.
Here we go. 180. Coming to you. 34's the mic.
Now Joe Mixon. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. He'll lose a yard there, and it's second and 11.
Sometimes I think cornerbacks can benefit from the fact that quarterbacks might just forget about the idea that they might be near the line of scrimmage. How about the anticipation there, sneaking in and making a big play in the backfield?
On second down, Mixon fights through him. And he's taken down inside the 30.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Throwing now, Burrow on first down. And that's going to be caught. T. Higgins. And he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds.
Well, this is a defense that's definitely on their heels now because they gave up the running play for good yardage one play ago. Now the pass here sets this offense up first and goal. They're going to have to dig in.
Now Burrow loses the football.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage. But I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
Very fortunate to get another shot. Here's second and goal. Burrow looking to pass. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Myles Garrett has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their third one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
A big play, but still not enough. Leads to a 4th and goal.
I don't know how many times, not just in my playing career, but you and I working together, have we ever heard a coach say, you know, I just don't have that play on my call sheet. And that's really what we had here. That was a big hole they were trying to get out of.
Yeah, big gain, still a ways to go, though. On 4th down, out comes the rookie 5th-round pick, Evan McPherson, for the Bengal field goal. McPherson's kick is good. And they are on the board. It's now 9-3. So the third drive's the charm. They are on the board, albeit with just a field goal.
Yeah, 3 points from 3 drives. That's not going to win you a whole lot of football games. Hopefully the fact they were able to move the ball a little bit can wake up their offense.
And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. Now Nick Chubb and the Browns get set for their next possession. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. Mayfield on play action. Escaping the pressure right. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a first down.
A give. This is Chubb. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Mayfield now. Eluding the pressure right. To the right side, and he's got Landry complete. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 33. Play action now. Here's Mayfield. He was out, and he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Mike Hilton. And the Bengals are going to get it back here just shy of the 20.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Not much there, only a yard. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
2nd and 9 now from the 21. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Here's Burrow. Able to find Higgins. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. The Bengals bring out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Here comes Pettis on the return. So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Browns going to go on offense one final time in this first half. And they'll take over with just 18 ticks remaining. And just 18 seconds remain till halftime as they come up on 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
On 2nd and 10, Mayfield. He's going to air one out. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Mike Hilton. And the Bengals are going to take over at their own 30-yard line. Well, Charles, you know, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
We now proceed to the start of the second half. All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. Here's Dante Pettis on the return. And he won't quite make it to the 25.
That's it, baby. We go front.
Baker Mayfield leads the offense out for their next possession. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say you want to get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little, kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the third quarter. A give running right is Chubb. Chubb will have the first down and much more. And he'll get this all the way up to the 42-yard line. 89 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. All right, I got to ask you, with these RPOs, essentially the quarterback has three options, right? So what's different from that versus the triple option that we see the service academies run at the college level?
As a general rule, the triple option at the college level, most things are called outside of the quarterback faking it to the runner and then keeping it himself and maybe having a trail back. What I mean is, in the NFL...
And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Trey Hendrickson just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. Just not much a quarterback can do there, CD. The pressure was in his face almost instantaneously, led to a very quick sack. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Trey Hendrickson able to record his 5th sack of the season. Here's Jamie Gillen now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for the second half.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. This goes out wide for Mixon.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
And he'll be stopped right at midfield.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside. And so many times defenses say, okay, we got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
On 2nd down and 4. Burrow. That's caught by his tight end, Uzoma. 5th catch of the game for him there. Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Now what we're seeing, this is much better from this offense because so far in this game, no touchdown to this point, and what's usually a direct correlation, very few explosive plays. That's been their issue. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Mixon on the toss right. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
They really had a good drive going there, but a nice recovery by the defense these past few downs, able to knock that one away on 3rd down and bring up what I think for the offense, an unexpected 4th down here.
So a good kick there. They put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the 3.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow.
Either
not
way.
the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
The Browns drive about to get started. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with a game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Mayfield off the play fake. He'll buy some time right. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
They'll break the huddle here and go for it. This is 4th down. Running for it. Here's Chubb. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. To throw on 2nd and 10, Mayfield. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 3 quarters have come and gone. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these 2 teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Mayfield going to keep it on the option. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Sam Hubbard that time coming through defensively with reckless abandon. But sometimes that option can get bogged down before the gears really even get into motion, and I think that's what we saw there.
And I think what he saw defensive end right in his face because he looked up and he was right there. Didn't even have a chance to get going.
105 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
There they'll be in search of 6 yards here on 3rd down. This is now the 9th play of the drive. Now Mayfield. Oh, what a heck of an effort there as he'll make the diving catch.
And that certainly appears to be a critical conversion right there because not only do they keep the drive going, they take valuable time off the clock as well. They have to feel really good about that last completion.
And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another 1st down.
I think there's a fatigue factor that's kicking in defensively. You know the will is still strong, but I think the offense is starting to bend it just a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's looked that way. We'll see if they can continue this already strong drive. A run for Nick Chubb, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success.
Touchdown! That's caught. Nick Chubb. He scored on the ground and through the air. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. McLaughlin for the extra point. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. That one was an extended drive. 14 plays all told. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. To return it, Darius Phillips. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to, or less than that. And, wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
Not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great position to win this one because holding them down was paramount. If they could get it done, well, guess what? We see the end result. Right now, they have their eye on victory.
And leading here in the 4th. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
We got three, fellas. We got three.
They're passing here. Joe Burrow. That's going to be brought in by Higgins. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Oh, a solid stiff arm and some open field. Boom! Still fighting through tackles. But he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Well, that is a running back who was not about to go down easily. He fought his way through the contact until the seas opened up for him. First down. Here's Burrow. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Jalen Smith gets him for a loss of 10 yards from his linebacker spot. This defense, they just continue to feast. 5 sacks now as a unit. It's been quite an afternoon getting to the quarterback.
And we're seeing it come from a variety of places as well. Sometimes just the guys up front getting to them. Other times you add extra guys rushing the quarterback, twists and stunts. It's been a variety, and they've had no way of blocking them.
A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down. The Bengals on 3rd down, not good, 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Burrow will throw. Looking for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked by the rookie Greg Newsome. And the Browns are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Trey Hendrickson, the one who gets him on the ground. Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. They had 3 yards on 1st down, just 1 yard there.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. Being chased out left. And a big loss here as he's taken down. There's Sam Hubbard that time in there to bring him to the ground. Here's Jamie Gillendown as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. So Burrow and the Bengals down by 10. A minute 54 on the clock. It's been a struggle to score all day, and now they need to do it twice here late to have a chance. And the Browns' pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. And Burrow's saying, let's go, let's go. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. Burrow to Mixon on the check down. A solid stiff arm. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. Clock rolling here. About to hit 30 seconds. Dumps it off to Mixon. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in this football game. Throwing, Burrow. And this is caught down for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that's the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
2nd down, here's Chubb again. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
Let's go, baby.
Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout, as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in the football game. Coming right, this is Chubb on the toss. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone.
Where you go, Joe?
So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And we talk so much about the turnover battle, determining who